In this video, we're going to use the power of a spreadsheet to do some of the calculations we've been working on with building a table for a loan. It turns out that the calculations are very repetitive, and whenever you find yourself doing the same repetitive calculation over and over again, there's probably a better tool, and often a good tool for something like that would be a spreadsheet. So first today, you're going to figure out how much the loan is going to be for and choose an interest rate. And then we're going to calculate the monthly payment. And as we've done before, one way to calculate the monthly payment would be to use some sort of car loan calculator that you can find online. So a simple one is just to type car loan calculator in Google and you get this widget. So let's say we have a $20,000 car and you have a 4% interest rate, and 60 months would be 5 years, which is pretty standard. So our monthly payment would be $368. So I'm going to use those values for this video, but you're welcome to choose any values you want. So we had 20,000, 4%. I'm going to type the percent sign here. And then the monthly payment was $368. So we looked those up. Okay, so in terms of building our table, there's a little note here that says this is the initial amount of the loan. So rather than typing 20,000, I'm going to type equals so that every calculation starts with an equal sign. And I'm just going to come over here and click on this amount. So now it says equals G3, which G3 is the address to this cell. And I'm going to hit enter. And then it pops that in there. Then for the interest to pay, rather than pulling out a calculator and doing it all with my calculator, I can just type equals. And the interest rate is 4%, so I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to hit times. If you take the interest rate as a 4%, the spreadsheet will know how to treat that as a decimal. I'm going to multiply that by the amount of money that I owe. And it tells me that I owe $800. And then it says, remember to divide by 12 to make it a monthly interest payment. So I'm going to go back up to my formula, and I'm going to say divide by 12. So that's how much I would pay in interest. Now the number of decimals here are a little bit excessive. So if I go back and click on this cell and just hit this dollar sign, it'll say format as currency. So that looks just a little bit better in terms of how it looks. So how much of your payment after paying interest goes towards paying off the loan? Well, I would want to take my monthly payment and subtract off the interest. So again, rather than pulling out a calculator, just let it do it for you. So I'm going to say equals to make it a calculation. Then I'm going to click on my monthly payment. So it finds the address to that cell. Then I want to subtract this amount that I pay in interest. So I'm going to click on that cell. And then I'm going to hit enter. And it did it for me. $301 of my loan is going to go towards paying off the amount that I owe. I'm going to do the same thing here and hit the dollar sign so that it looks like a dollar amount. Okay, so now the question is, how much do I still owe? So I'm going to say equals, I would have this $20,000, so I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to subtract off how much I just paid for this last month, $300. So my loan will be $300 less. That's how much I still own after 1 month. And I just have to kind of keep this process going. So it turns out that in a spreadsheet, if I want to copy this down, I can just do Control-C and copy and Control-V and paste, and it copies the thinking down. But the problem is, if I do that, let me just do that really quick. I'm going to copy it, I'm going to paste it, and so just I get this crazy high number. So if we track what's happening, it's because it took this number right here, which I want this number times the interest rate, but it copied the cell down to the one below it, so it took it times 368. So in order to prevent that from happening, what I need to do is make sure that it's always G4. This cell right here with my interest rate is always G4. So when I look at this formula, I want it to always be G4. So I put a dollar sign in front of these and it locks them in place so that it will always be G4. So I'm going to hit enter on that one. It'll be the same. And same thing here. My monthly payment is always G5. I want it to stay there forever. So I'm going to put a dollar sign in front of each of those to kind of lock that value into place. So it still reads G5 minus C2, but those are now locked in place. Now, if I copy these down, I did Control C, and I can go down here and Control V. It just did it for me. So I would claim I should be able to copy all of these now. I can just kind of select a range of cells and paste, and it's just doing it for me as I go. The power of a spreadsheet is you can program the thinking once in like one row or one cell, and then copy your thinking down, and it's building this table for me. The only thing it's not doing is the month, and you can do that as well. Because this is just a pattern of 0, 1, 2, you can copy this pattern down, and one thing I haven't showed you yet in this video is a reminder that this square in the bottom corner is like your copy the formula cell. So I can just grab this and copy it down as far as I want. I want to go to at least row 61, so I get 59 months. I need probably one more month to get to row 60. But it just continued that thinking for me. So I can do the same thing here. I can select these, so that these are my active cells. And this square in the corner, if I grab that and drag it down, it's going to copy the cells down for me. And I can see how my loan is paid off. And it looks like I need to go one more month. So I'm going to make this become a 60. And I can copy these down. And now I've paid off my loan. I only have $20 left on this loan. So that is how I can start to build this spreadsheet that shows me month by month how much I owe for the loan. And the power in doing it this way is now I could change this. What if instead of a $20,000 loan, what if I have a $16,000 loan? So I can change one number over here and watch everything over here change. Everything just updated. So it's a spreadsheet that I could use to see month by month how much I still owe by just changing a few values on this side. I'm going to put this back to 20,000. And everything over here is linked to these three values. One question that you might still get asked is, how much interest did you pay for the entire loan? So to do that, you could just pick any cell over here, and I could say total interest. I always like to label it. Then I'm going to go to the cell next to it, and I can make my calculation. What I really want to do is add up all of these values right here in the interest column. And adding things up is called a sum. So I'm going to type equals sum, and then a parentheses to get the formula started. And I'm going to click on the first number and hold the mouse and drag it down and just keep going until I reach the last one. So it adds up those. You can close your parenthesis and hit enter, and I paid $2,000 in interest for this loan, and the spreadsheet calculated it for me automatically. So this is a much more powerful tool than trying to do things by hand, because we were doing the same calculation over and over and over again. A spreadsheet is a great tool for that.